Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, the new movie by Warner Brothers about, obviously, Teen Titans Go, meeting up with the 2003 series Teen Titans. This originally premiered at Comic-Con 2019, but has now been released on digital and soon to be released on physical media shortly. Essentially, the story of this movie is that Raven has the gem in her forehead cracked and her inner demon is sort of spilling out. Eventually, the Titans interact with this character by the name of the Master of Games, who puts them up against the 2003 version of themselves, essentially looking for the best version to put into his collection, which we later find out is just a massive plot to get the 2003 Trigon back into the present. Now, before we get into this movie and my thoughts about it, let's take a little trip down memory lane and talk more about the series. Now, my first introduction to Teen Titans Go was the 2018 movie, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which I actually really liked a lot, highly recommended it. I actually laughed so hard that I decided to pick up and purchase the movie and own it, because I liked it so much and I've watched it several times since. Now, in regards to the 2003 series, when it was released, I did like it, I did watch it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it was definitely a good series. It unfortunately just had its run and they canceled it. Much to a lot of fans' dismay. But now in this movie, we finally get to see the Teen Titans Go interact with the 2003 series, and it's actually a lot of fun, just like Teen Titans Go to the Movies. A lot of comedy gold scattered throughout, especially with their interaction with each other, and they even reference like a character during the big battle of the Go characters versus the 2003 characters. There's a fan in the stands with a sign of the Go symbol for Teen Titans Go, with it crossed out, essentially rooting for the 2003 series, saying how it was the superior series. So the creators and the writers of this movie were very self-aware with their comedy. They know that a lot of the fans love that series, not so much big fans of this series, Teen Titans Go, but they're sort of rolling with it, and that interaction was actually a really lot of fun. And speaking of fun, I think a lot of what the fun comes from is the voice acting and the characters, mainly because the same voice actors from the 2003 series are actually the same voice actors for Teen Titans Go. So this is the same person doing the same two characters talking to each other. So I feel like it was really clever that they had them interact, because essentially these voice actors are talking to themselves the majority of the movie. They are just different versions of themselves, but because one is a little bit more dark and serious, the other one's a lot more fun and cartoonish, obviously we get that sort of interaction and that duality of the voice actor having to play both roles in different ways, but they're obviously the same character, the same person. So that's actually a lot of the fun that I had with this movie, thinking of being, if I were a voice actor, having to talk to myself as a character to another version of myself. I think that would be a lot of fun, and they obviously played with that a lot in the movie and added a lot more to the characters and the fun of the film. But by far the most fun thing that I think that this movie had to offer was that a big moment later in the movie when the Titans sort of have to interact with even more versions of themselves from different universes, the multiverse, to fight Trigon. They essentially interact with the Young Justice versions of themselves, which is even darker than the 2003 series. They interact with the OG comic ones, the original comics, where they even, when they talk, they use speech bubbles. Just a lot of different characters that were a lot of fun to see interact with each other. They even reference to other characters like a mermaid version of themselves, which was a throwback to something they say earlier in the movie. There's different, even babier versions of the Teen Titans, even though they call the Teen Titans Go the baby version of the 2003 versions. There's just a lot of different things in building of the comedy that really add and pay off in the end. It just doesn't go anywhere like a lot of movies. They actually kind of bring it back, which was actually a lot of fun to see. And even when they see like the mermaid versions of themselves, they're like, oh, like those are the mermaid versions of us, like we were talking about earlier. It's really stupid, childish comedy for the most part, but that's kind of what adds to the charm of this movie, is because they are interacting, they are very much children in a way. It's aimed towards children, obviously. Even the 2003 version was, but it's just a lot of fun to watch these characters interact with each other, have fun, and still have like a threat coming, but still do it in a fun way for different things because they're not so serious. A lot of different things are happening here that I feel like just build to making this movie so much fun and so entertaining. The only negative that I would have to say for Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but I feel like my biggest nitpick was the 2003 Titans. Not that there was anything wrong with the characters, the voice acting, the action, anything like that. I just felt like they looked a little bit different from the series back in 2003. That could be just a cleanup of the animation, maybe a little bit sharper lines to distinguish them from the Teen Titans Go, which is very much more curved lines, but just the overall look of them looked a little bit awkward. So whenever they were on screen, I felt like I was just rattling my brain trying to figure out what was slightly different that was bothering me, just so I could have that relief of, okay, that's what it is. But I think that's, now that I'm making this video in hindsight, the update of animation, maybe just a little bit sharper lines, sharper edges, that was probably my biggest thing that I would have noticed that would have changed between the 2000 original series and their update in this movie. But it's just a super small nitpick. This was actually a lot of fun for a movie. A lot of great things happening here. I don't know if it was as good as Teen Titans Go to the movies. I actually think this one had a little bit more fun to it just because they weren't worried about having that main villain and having to be so serious all the time and keep kids entertained. And there's just various things. I mean, there's still a musical number just like Teen Titans Go to the movies. I think they're very much on par with each other. The comedy is slightly different, but it's still a lot of fun, and I highly recommend Teen Titans Go to the movies, and definitely recommend checking out Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. Definitely one of the most entertaining animated movies I've seen in quite a while, where it actually makes me laugh and I enjoy the action. So essentially those are my thoughts on Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. If you have been able to see it, let me know in your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as let me know, do you think it was as good, better, or worse than Teen Titans Go to the movies? And would you like to see the 2003 Titans make a comeback, whether it be in their own series or whether it be in a whole animated film just about them? Let me know in the comment section down below. But other than that, those are all my thoughts on Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.